welcome to the second episode of How Have You Not Seen? So, okay, Andy, how have you not seen Rocky?
Rocky is a film.
Yes.
I'm aware of it.
Yes.
Starring Sylvester Stallone. But Hayley, I've never seen it.
I know, this is crazy.
I've played a computer game based on it.
I'm sure in the 10 years we've been together, I'm sure I've seen Rocky.
You may have seen Rocky. I might have just been somewhere else.
Well, the Rocky, all 5 of them, probably over a week.
Possibly. We have talked about watching it, but
Yeah.
and I'm aware of a lot of the characters. You know, I know of Carl Weathers and Dolph Lundgren.
So we're going to do this every time, but what do you think it's about then?
It's about boxing, right? It couldn't not be about boxing. Yeah. I've been burnt once already. We've done one episode, and I say Silence of the Lambs is about a cannibal, and it bites me in the arse. Okay,
But him in the arse too.
Yes, and it was tasty. But it's got to be about boxing. I believe, just from pop culture, that it's going to be a guy training from nothing to get a shot at the title, maybe. And well, I think I know what the ending is. I'm not going to say. But anyway, obviously, if you haven't seen Rocky, or if you want to rewatch it again, we're going to go and watch it now. It might be a good time for you guys to watch it as well. Yes,
because the in about 3 minutes' time, so many spoilers are going to come.
Oh, yeah.
So just go and watch the film with us. Pause this if you've not seen it. And we'll see if Andy's prediction it's about boxing.
I think that's pretty strong. I can't possibly be wrong.
Come back, it's about tennis.
That would be a twist. If M. Night Shyamalan made Rocky,
I would pay good money to see Sly Stallone do a tennis,
like a straight tennis film, where he plays like John McEnroe. You cannot be serious. That was a bit Arnie, that actually.
Yeah.
You cannot be serious.
Do you know any quotes?
I know he says Adrian.
Because I shout it.
You shout it probably 3 times every week.
Adrian!
Just in the supermarket. It's quite embarrassing. So I know that. I know he's got a little boxing coach called, I want to say his name's Sid. Probably not. He looks like a Sid. And I haven't even watched the trailer for this, as per your request.
Yes.
I watched the Silence of the Lambs trailer before watching it, and it did give away a little bit of the story that I wasn't previously aware of. So I've not watched any of this.
Although you're not going in very deep with the it's about boxing.
His surname's Balboa.
Yes! Ooh.
Oh, that's probably not relevant really to the story.
Do you know what the actual character's name isn't actually Rocky? It's Robert.
Robert. Yeah, that's...
They never mention it. It's in the script.
Right. If I was called Robert and someone said, "Hey, Rocky," I'd probably go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for someone to do that with Andy, to be honest. There's not many options, though. Drew? Drew's pretty cool. I'm not cool enough for Drew.
I was going to say you can put
Oh,
Drew.
thanks. Thank you. Should we go watch the film?
Yes! I'll get the popcorn?
You get the popcorn. I'll get the Amazon Prime.
Ooh. Because we can't be bothered to go in the loft to get the DVD.
Amazon Prime. It's the 21st century, guys. So if you're in the UK, you can watch it on Amazon Prime, along with all the other Rocky films. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Here's the trailer. You enjoy the trailer, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Bye!
Bye!
His name is Sylvester Stallone. He's the star of a new film called Rocky. He's been described as tough, handsome, talented, sexy, sensitive, dynamic, brilliant. He's been compared to Nicholson, De Niro, and Brando, but he is Rocky. He's the man who could be loved by only one woman, because somehow she gets beneath the pain. He's every nobody who ever needed somebody.
Rocky, do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah.
I'll break both your arms so they don't work for you.
He's every man who ever settled for something less.
What about my pride, Nick? At least you have pride. I ain't had no pride. I ain't enough. I want to get that. I want to get that.
There
terrific. I mean, you could be a heartbreak. You walk down the street breaking hearts the way you're looking. Very sharp.
He's the man who never had a chance until now. Rocky. His whole life was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. His name is Sylvester Stallone, but you will always remember him as Rocky.
Oh, Paulie.
You're listening to Hayley's Mental Breakdown.
So we just finished Rocky. So, what did you think?
I'm probably going to say some quite unpopular things in the
With me,
in
probably.
the next half an hour. Right, it was fine.
Okay, should I tell you? I'll tell you a few things.
Tell
about it
me some
before-
things.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Before everyone turns off.
So, it was released in 1976.
I was going to say, he looked young.
Yeah, he was 20. No, 1976 on New Year's Day.
Okay, that's cool.
It won 3 Oscars. It won Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Film Editing, and it beat Taxi Driver for Best Picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a travesty.
It was starring Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, Burgess Meredith, and directed by John J.
Avildsen.
That's the one. I can't pronounce his last name. But he directed it. And he won Best Director.
So while we're on the credits here,
Yeah.
it said it was written by Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
Right, this is behind the curtain here of the podcast. You mentioned before that, we're jumping here to casting here, but you mentioned before that they didn't necessarily want Sylvester Stallone for the character of Rocky.
Yeah.
How does that work, given he wrote it?
Well, he's a writer. Not every writer is in
No,
the
but so
film.
he was his back. No, touche. So obviously you think of Sylvester Stallone as being an actor now.
Yes.
Is this a Anthony Hopkins style? He wasn't quite what he was.
It depends who you believe, basically. So
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone, he was saying that at the time he was a down and out, that he was an usher that was on $36 a day. He'd been backpacking around Europe to find himself, to immerse himself in culture, and he decided that he wanted to write films. So he wrote really dark screenplays in the sort of Easy Rider style, which had been really popular in the sort of 5 years previous to it. And then they didn't get anywhere. So he wrote Rocky and tried to get it made. But the people that wanted to produce it wanted to buy it and have someone else direct it, star in it. They just wanted the story of it. And they said that it would be $2 million for the budget. And he said, no, I want to star in it. You can have it if I star in it. So they say, okay, you can star in it, but we'll only give you $1 million for the budget. And you on the minimum wage of an actor at the time it was like $350 a week, and he starred in it, but that's what he wanted to do. But if you actually go off like IMDb, he'd done films. He was he was a jobbing actor. He'd done like a soft porn film called Partying Kitty and Stud in 1970, so like 6 years before that, where it was like soft porn thing. But he was in Death Race 2000 as one of the not main characters, but he was Machine Gun Joe, I think his character's name was.
I can see that.
So he was in these big films, but it's one of those Sylvester Stallone. So if he wants to say that he was a down and out and locked himself in the room to make it.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, though, are they?
No, yeah.
He could have got bit part roles in films whilst also being a bit listless.
Yeah. I think it depends. Like, if you think of his aspiration, he wanted to be Sylvester Stallone. He saw himself as a product, and he didn't think that the bit parts in these films were what he could accomplish, which he was right, to be fair to him.
He got there.
He's done bloody well.
Well, the film itself, because we'll get to alternative castings later on, and it'll be interesting to hear about that. The film itself, again, I'm going to say unpopular things here. I just wasn't really invested in anything.
Really?
Considering a lot of the film seemed to be the character development and setting the scene.
Okay.
And a lot of it, it wasn't really about boxing in the end. It was about his journey, his own journey, and those around him. The amount of time they spent focusing on building this world, building this character of Rocky and all his flaws and how he was feeling, I really just didn't care what happened.
Is that because you've been like trained and brainwashed almost into believing that Rocky is a stone cold boxing film? And by the end, by like Rocky 4 is 39% montage. And that's no exaggeration. 39% of the film is a montage.
To be honest, I would have preferred if they just...
Rocky 4, be honest. Rocky 2 is essentially a remake of Rocky 1.
Okay.
From Rocky 3, that's when they start getting like Hulk Hogan in and Mr. T.
See, I'm into that. If we'd have watched that...
we will watch that. We can watch that.
We can watch that,
yeah. And then Rocky 4, you've got Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren,
in Rocky
big fan.
4. Paulie has a relationship with a robot in Rocky 4. They go off to Russia. It's
so
awesome.
Paulie being the best friend.
Yes.
Not a fan of him.
You're not meant to.
Well, I know you're not meant to, but I mean, he's still in the fourth one, right? So he's sticking around. I don't want to see this guy on the screen. He's got no redeeming features. He's not even a lovable sort of wrong side of the tracks kind of guy. He's just not very nice man. I mean, the bit where he threw the turkey out of that was the most upsetting thing of the whole film. Was seeing him throw a turkey.
Her
out.
reaction to that, to Adrian's reaction to it, oh, Paulie. That was like, oh.
Yeah, that was.
You can tell she was in Godfather. She was like the only legit actor in the film. She'd done Godfather Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
And was oh my god, I've forgotten her name in the actual thing. She's Al Pacino's sister.
Yeah.
In it. So she was legit actress. I think you can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
She also had the flu. That's why she came off a little bit of an arse at the start and didn't want to kiss him. She genuinely was ill and was like, I don't want to be here.
Okay, so the not wanting to kiss him thing in a post Me Too movement sort of scenario we're in here. That was uncomfortable.
That was yeah.
the whole chase, even from before he got her in his apartment, was very uncomfortable from our point of view now. And obviously, she did want it, for want of a better phrase. She was up for it. She was up for it. She was just shy, fine, and no harm done. However, it was when he backed her into the corner, literally from stopping her leaving the apartment, was a little bit uncomfortable to watch.
Yes, I agree.
Or snowflakes.
It's
a different time. Just I wasn't really gripped by any of it, and I know even the musical bits. Rocky is synonymous with that music, and go on.
Trying hard now.
Yeah, just like a really on the nose musical commentary of what he's doing.
What is happening?
So the music, the last montage where he's up to speed and that sprinting scene along the dock, absolutely fantastic. Loved that.
I will come back to that in a bit.
But even the music, I mean, it sounded like the neighbours had asked them to turn it down.
Well, okay, so the guy that did the Gonna Fly Now song,
Yeah.
he did the whole score. So
Right.
all the orchestral and it's all the same guy. It's called Bill Conti, his name is, and he's kind of like a big deal. He's good. He's legit. So you didn't like the music? 'Cause I think the music swells, and the boxing match, we jump around a lot. The boxing match at the end, when he gets, I think he's on the second round, the end of the second round, and it's been, I don't think there's been any music up until that point. And then the boom, boom, the bell kicks in, and then it. I didn't remember this, and it cut literally from 2, 5, 7. It's like, we're just gonna cut through the boxing match. You can assume is 10 minutes long.
Yeah, but again, I mean, you said about the music in the first 2 rounds, and yeah, you're absolutely right. There was no music from until after the second round. It didn't give any weight to that when Rocky knocked him down in the first round. That just needed something. It needed something to hit home how dramatic that was. It was all very Rocky's knocked him down. Okay, round 2. There was no real drive to it, and even the music after that, like I say, it was like it was turned down.
I think maybe we had it too quiet. We have a baby upstairs, so
maybe
Rocky blaring out.
But the dialogue was loud enough. I just think it didn't have that impact. You know, Rocky is a film with iconic music in it. Yeah, well, apart from Eye of the Tiger.
But that doesn't come until 3.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You were waiting for Eye of the Tiger to come, weren't you?
Obviously.
It's not in this film.
The music.
Eye of the Tiger didn't happen until 6 years later in 82.
I still think they could have worked it in somewhere somehow. No, the music was one thing that I was most disappointed with. I don't think even the montage, the famous running up the steps and celebrating at the end.
Well, this film kind of created montages in films. This was one of the first ones to do it.
I don't know. It just didn't. I didn't connect with the film at all. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and I know it's...
No, it is your personal opinion. I completely disagree with you. I think that it was the music and the atmosphere of it, and using the sound effects of the trains and everything to create the ambiance of it was subtlety. I think that maybe, even though you've not seen any of the subsequent ones, you know about what the Rocky franchise is. Maybe that you're viewing it as that it should be more of a spectacle than actually what it was, and it was actually just not an independent film. It wasn't quite independent, but it was of that sort of genre when it's less than.
It's not quite a blockbuster. Yeah. I think. You're absolutely right, to be honest, and I'm viewing this knowing that there's going to be another 16 Rocky films.
We'll watch 3.
Right, okay, good.
We'll skip 2 because 3
So do they fight again, Apollo Creed and Rocky? Right?
Yeah, so there ain't going to be no rematch. Out the window.
Until this film does quite well.
Out of the window. So this was released in 76. 79, gonna be a rematch. 82, gonna be a rematch. 85, gonna be a rematch.
There were bits of it I liked.
Okay.
There were bits of it I genuinely thought, that's good. But, I don't know, it just seemed...
Okay, can I try and convince you then? A little bit?
Hit me, yeah.
Okay, so...
Give me a reason to love this.
The subtleties of the actual, the filming of it.
Yeah, the long shots and stuff. I did enjoy the long shots.
But even just like the actual, so the characters, when we first see Adrian, or not the very first time, the second time we see it, when he goes in.
Oh no! I know what you're gonna say. The mirror.
No, well, the mirrors. Yeah, mirrors are important.
I love
the cage. The shootiness. She was in a cage. The character, he was looking at her through a cage, and she was this timid little bird, essentially, kept in this prison almost of a brother and being shy, and that she's 32, which I'm 31 and I don't consider myself old, but back in the 70s, as she would have probably been considered as a bit of a spinster by now. So she had these bars around her holding her in, and then as the character progressed, the glasses came off, so literally the bars on her face came off, and she wore brighter colours, and it was I think the character development's so good in it, and the mirrors, like you were saying with the mirrors are really important, because did you well, you tell me what you think about the mirrors.
Well, so the mirrors in that specific scene in the pet shop, I just enjoyed when you viewed her through the bars, and then it came across and you see Rocky in full view in the mirror. Yeah, I enjoyed that just as a shot, as something to look at. You did have the mirror being broken in the bathroom. I don't know what relevance that is.
So the mirror being broken in when they're introduced with the characters. So Paulie, happy birthday, Paulie.
Paulie.
That's from 4. The robot goes, happy birthday, Paulie. But Paulie, when you first see when you see Paulie, he's looking at himself in this tiny, tiny broken mirror. He's a broken man.
Right.
In this dingy bathroom with a crappy mirror in. That's basically him.
His life.
When you first see Rocky looking at himself in the mirror, it's a dirty mirror. It's got bandages around it, and it's got pictures of him as a kid, and he's got busted face, and it's just he's not reflecting anything, or you can see all these apartments in the background. It's all horrible. Later on, when they bookend the film, when he's looking at himself and when he's going ready for the fight, it's a clean room. He's clean. He's more handsome, arguably. The characters, when they sort of find themselves, they become more attractive. So, like, Adrian, when she came out of her cage, when she came out of her shell, she was more attractive. And Paulie was when he was at the fight at the end, he was in a nice suit. He scrubbed up, and it was the characters were developing, and it was the reflection was also showing themselves what they could actually see.
Love it.
Do you like that?
That's okay? Fantastic. Yeah. No, that's really good. And the worst character development. I'm not saying that
major character development.
Yeah, everyone had a reasonable arc.
Even Tony, like I didn't. This is like I've seen this film dozens and dozens of times. Like I was watching it and actually acting out some of the fight scenes on the sofa.
Oh, it was hilarious, by the way. That was the best part of the film, genuinely.
Tony.
Who's Tony? Tell me who Tony is.
Tony is his boss.
Yes, the small-time gangster guy.
Yeah, right. Who's really nice. Like, he gives him money. And he's... These characters are... They're well thought out characters. They've got backgrounds to them.
Mickey.
Some good Did you recognise Mickey? Mickey is famous from something else. From after or before? But before. So what if... Okay, so I'm going to give you some clues. So it's from 1960
Okay, I remember
TV
it well.
show.
Happy Days.
No. It's not the Fonz.
No, it could have been... This is an old guy who runs the bar, right?
Al.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No, but TV series. DC comic books.
Okay. Oh, is he Robin?
He was the Penguin in
Penguin.
Adam West's cool. Batman.
That's cool.
He was the Penguin.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I guess the voice lends itself to a bit of Penguin. Yeah. Well, he was good. Mm-hmm. Initially, so I recognised him, although I've not seen the film, I recognised him as being the one that is going to train him.
Yes.
So when he was being a bit of an arsehole to him earlier on, it was a tough love. You could recognise that as tough love. And obviously there was that good scene between the two of them when he comes to him wanting to manage Rocky.
Yeah.
And that was good. And it showed Rocky's... the aggression that he let out was when he was away. He had this pent up aggression. He didn't want to let it out again on Mickey.
Yeah, because he had respect for him.
He had respect for him.
Yeah, he was really pissed off at him, and
Yeah.
just cause to be pissed off at him. He's not.
Totally.
He's not. You can see it from both ways. You can see why Mickey would be annoyed at him for not fulfilling what his potential was, but then also Rocky, you get like glimpse into his life of that when he's like, I've got no one to spend Thanksgiving with. He's got no one around him, and he probably looked up to Mickey, and Mickey's just sort of just passed him
Dismissive,
off. Yeah, dismissed him.
The actual plot, the plot itself. The one thing I was worried about, certainly going into it, and I knew there was going to be a big fight between Apollo Creed and Rocky. I just that's going to happen. The plausibility of that coming about was something I was worried about.
Right.
And to be fair, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, they did it well, didn't they?
Absolutely brilliant. You
Yeah.
can 100% see that being, perhaps not nowadays, but in that scenario, you can 100% see that happening.
Yeah.
Everything about it, the way they picked him,
Good name,
Italian
just
stallion.
the name and the media all lit it up.
Loved Carl Weathers.
He's great
as
in it,
Apollo
yeah.
Creed, really charismatic, obviously, as he tends to be. And there's complete chalk and cheese with him and Rocky. It was a complete parallel. I would have liked to have seen more of him.
You will.
I will. Well,
You will.
I'm not watching more Rockies.
You will watch more
dear.
Rocky.
Because we're Carl Weathers fans. You've met Carl Weathers,
Yes,
of course.
I have. I got smiled at. And
Yeah.
hi. So we went. Me and Andy are big Comic-Con fans, and we went to.
It was For the Love of Sci-Fi.
For the Love of Sci-Fi in Manchester last year, so 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the future.
And he'd done his he'd done his talk, so we've been listening to it, and then we'd gone outside, and I think
I went to use the restroom.
you'd gone to use the restroom, and I was just stood outside the gents as you do, and Carl Weathers walked past with his little entourage, and I went, "Hi, Carl," and he went, "Hey," as he walked past, and literally made my day.
Yeah. It was. I was extremely jealous to have walked out to find that out, but no. He seemed extremely cool listening to him talk about all sorts. But I loved him. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Would have liked to have seen more. And yes, I get what you're saying about the sequels. But in this film, you did get an idea of his character, and that was probably enough. But he was one of the best bits of the film for me.
Yeah.
I think
He was. I was interrupting you. Sorry. Like when Rocky's punching the meat.
Yeah.
Excellent scene when he's punching the meat, and his coach is watching it, and he's like, "Send 200 flowers to some."
His eyes,
and
his
his
not on the
wife,
prize at all.
and he's like, you need to watch this. And even they say, like, even the commentators guy, they're like, Apollo's not at his best, looking good, but he's not taking this fight seriously.
Absolutely. And you see, Anthony Joshua just recently in boxing, and it happens in all sport, if you take your eyes off it.
Yeah.
But that's something that was a redeeming quality of it. If we can talk about Sylvester Stallone for a second, because I have seen many Stallone films. In many ways, I am a fan.
How can you not be a fan of Stallone?
Well, here we go. There's some charm, and obviously the character. It could have. We'll get to the castings in a bit, and I'm sure they would have created a completely different film. I just devoid of all sort of personality, really, and I get that that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I get it. Don't criticize me for not
I'm not.
understanding.
No, to be honest, he doesn't actually like Rocky as a character. He stays like that through the franchise.
Right. Okay. That's good, because obviously he's going to get bigger and bigger, and the idea that he's consistent is a good one. But at the same time, there was nothing really to get my teeth into with
grab
him.
hold of.
There was nothing to empathise with him, really. Bits and bobs when he was getting angry at Mickey. I was like, yes, come on.
Have you seen Rambo?
I've seen Rambo. Yeah, no, that's kind of.
Which Rambo have you seen? Have you seen First Blood?
I think
Part 1.
I think so. Yeah.
Drifter.
I think so. I honestly I couldn't say.
Well, because in Rambo, there's a
Let's avoid spoilers, guys.
yes, this is not a spoiler.
Okay.
This is just a scene that's in it that is showing
At the end of the film, where Rambo blows up the whole village. I don't know.
That's pretty accurate.
Oh right.
Yeah, so there's a scene in Rambo, which was, so Rambo was done, which I didn't realise this. So I'm like big Sylvester Stallone fan, and I've watched basically any film that he's ever made. And I didn't realise that, so Rocky was done in 76, and then he did Rocky 2 in 79, and Rocky 3 in 82, and that's pretty much all he did for those years. There was a couple of like spatterings of things.
Did he write 2 and 3 as well? Or
I think he's just. He'll claim that he's written them all. He's written them all. That he's the character is.
Yeah.
And then he did Rambo in 82, and I didn't realise that there was such a big jump in between that. He'd done the first 3 Rocky films before he'd
Rambo.
actually introduced Rambo as a character. Because in Rambo he's quite, because his physique, like as Sylvester Stallone progressed, and then you get to like the Expendables, just
ball of muscle.
yeah, basically, like in this film, he's quite lean.
He's looking great.
He looks amazing, but he looks
lean,
normal. Do you know?
Yeah.
And the same in Rambo, but I suppose it wasn't until Rocky 4 that he actually started to get quite big, and that was 85.
So the issue I had with Sylvester Stallone is, I guess, linked to the character. You know, there were bits of personality that sort of shone through that I was really enjoying, very small snippets of something to enjoy and like about him. To be honest, when he was talking to Adrian through the door, and he doesn't know what to say, and he's trying to convince her to go out with him.
The little sort of like he was sort of gesturing to Paulie like he's gonna hit him.
Yes,
and,
yeah. Those little moments of humour and a little spark in his eye, and I was thinking, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I get that that's not the character, and I get that Sylvester Stallone anyway is sort of the monotone voice, and that's just how he delivers things. It didn't do anything for me.
Do you think he because in the because how he was written, how Sylvester Stallone is written, he wanted him to be the everyman.
Yeah.
But I think he's not the everyman.
No, he's gone too far the other way.
He's like whiter than white. Like he tries to save the girl at the start. When he's like, I'm going to use a dirty word, whore, they'll think you're a whore. And it's like he's trying to save her. He literally does the save the cat moment, and he saves the dog. Which for people that don't know about the save the cat is, I can't remember the guy's name, he's like Blake something. And in Alien, the original Alien film, Ripley saves the cat. Not a spoiler, just
Blake Snyder.
Thank you. And it was Blake something. And he used this thing that every hero at some point saves the cat. Not necessarily a cat, but they save something that shows
a
that
vulnerable thing.
Yeah. Arguably, Rocky saves Adrian from her life with her brother for all of the next probably 5 years that Paulie's got before he drinks himself into a stupor. Did you recognise Paulie?
No, you know.
So Paulie was in really good show on Netflix. Everyone needs to go see it because I think I've met about 3 people that have watched it. Russian Doll.
Oh wow, we love Russian Doll.
Yes.
What?
So, yeah, Paulie's in Russian Doll.
Okay. Leave this with me.
Leave this to just ticking over in your head. Very small part.
Oh, forget it then. Who did he play?
The guy that opens the door to the apartment and she's chatting to him. He's not like integral to the story. She's just chatting to him on the step. and he talks about his wife and how much he loved his wife.
Oh, are you kidding?
That's him.
Oh wow!
That's
Towards
Burt Young.
sort of 3/4 of the way
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He's almost like a cameo.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just the one
But
she's
it's a
talking to on
significant
the street.
cameo.
Yeah. That's Burt Young.
Oh, fantastic! Well, Russian Doll, absolutely go watch that on Netflix.
Hi everyone, just taking a break from the podcast just to tell you about something else that I do. As you can probably tell from the podcast, I love movies. Big film geek, big film fan. But I also love making things and miniature things. So I've combined the two, and I have made lots of miniature, tiny scale houses and buildings from famous movies. If that's something that you would be interested in looking at, I'd love you to go and have a look at them on Instagram at McCool Collectibles, or on Facebook. We've got loads of things on there, so like them, comment, send me a message if you like them. And also some of them are for sale.
Which ones are for sale?
The Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Excellent.
Psycho. And Up is on its way, the Up house.
Excellent. So where do you go to find out more?
That is on Instagram at McCool Collectibles.
And how do you spell McCool?
Oh, good question. That is MCKOOL.
Collectibles.
Go and check them out. Follow us. We love seeing new people.
Back to the podcast.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll leave off Sylvester Stallone now because he's ultimately very successful, and what I think doesn't matter.
Should I hit you with some random trivia?
Can I just, before you do?
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to say.
I love how much you've got into this film of hating it.
I don't hate it. That's kind of my problem. I didn't love it.
You're a bit meh.
It was a bit meh. It was a bit. I can't ever think I'd want to watch that again. And
Maybe if you'd watched, like, I watched it when I was maybe 13 and was big into sport, which I know you did not believe that I was big into sport. If anyone listens to this that know me, please tell Andy that how much I actually was into sport when I was a teenager.
Not
I
true.
was, really was. And then I discovered boys.
boys are sport.
Exactly.
Just to give credit to either him as a writer or the director, probably more so, the actual capture of the atmosphere of a boxing gym, amateur boxing matches. Although I've had very limited experience myself, what I thought was fantastic. I thought they absolutely nailed that, because I think in modern films, if you were to have a boxing film, and I've not seen Creed, surprisingly, or Rocky Balboa, I just think there'd be a tendency to have an empty atmospheric gym where it's just a one-on-one between the coach and the boxer, and it's got music in the back, and it's not real to what it is.
Yeah.
And I think with having so many extras all doing the thing, of presumably all boxers as well, all the sweat and all the rundown and the lockers and everything, I thought that was fantastic. I thought that really immersed you in the world. So credit where credit's due. I think I enjoyed that. You also had the broken nose foreshadowing.
Yes.
Which was
when he was sitting, I was like, this nose has never been broken. Look how perfect this nose is. Smack.
He might as well have been punching you in the face. It was that obvious. That was just that. That was a bit obvious. But hey, you can get away with stuff like that. There was bits of humour in it as well. Fleeting. I appreciate this is unpopular, but.
So with your point with the extras, because that was really interesting to listen to you talk about that, actually, for saying that you felt the film was full.
Yeah, and you said about the trains and stuff in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The neighborhood they created, the doo-wop group, or whatever you would call it, on the street corner. I mean, why is that not more of a thing? I would be in my element.
You'd be singing that and harmonising with me.
I would be around that burning bin, whatever you call it. The creation of, and obviously he was, I think that's interesting what you said about him being a bit whiter than white. Everyone loved him in the neighborhood. He was doing all these good deeds. He had turtles and he loved animals. It was just like they were going, right, this guy is amazing. this guy is the most lovely person. He's gonna punch some people. That's not.
He's the
yeah.
peacemaker. Like he doesn't intervene, and when Adrian and Paulie are having the fight, he's just like, I'm just gonna let it go. And it's like, the guy that Tony, his boss's driver, who's just an arsehole to him for no reason. It was like
ridiculous.
Rocky could get the crap out of him, and he's just like, meh, I'm not gonna go there.
Is that kind of to set this scene of you see this guy, he's attractive, he's good at boxing, he's liked by everyone, and it's to set him down that actually no, he is a bit of a loser. There is, even though he can.
Every character really is a loser, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like
yeah.
even like Apollo is he's got all this money and he's got all this this popularity around him, but he's lost what it is to be a boxer.
Yeah.
So he's a loser as well in some form.
That's good point, because you cannot see Apollo Creed existing in Rocky's world.
No.
And he must have come from somewhere.
Well, he did. That's the
Is that,
the
do you go into that in 2 or?
3 and beyond.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm more into that. I would like to know about.
It is like the world building of the franchise is they really do. I mean, they've done the reboot now, which is essentially just the story being told again from Creed's family, so Apollo's family. But the world building of it is immense with the films. And each of the Rocky films are fantastic, because every film does a little montage at the start of the films that have come before it.
Love it.
So you can jump into 3 and there is a little montage at the end of what happened in 2.
Love it.
And the same with 4. It's like, this is what happened. So you don't have to...
Much like Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. They had a little montage at the start.
This is what... Here's Mary Jane. She's working in a cafe.
Here's Harry looking unhappy because his dad's been killed. 2 more things. I know you're dying to get to the trivia.
No, that's fine.
2 more things. Is he ever going to stop cracking eggs into that glass?
Oh, that's gross! Oh, that was...
I was thinking, right, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 eggs. 4 eggs?
That's his budget. That's his...
5 eggs?
Yeah.
I think he stopped on 5.
Is it 5? And then he down.
counted
I mean,
5.
half of it went down his shirt. But it's like, like I'd have to have a sick bucket. Like raw eggs.
Needs must.
I
It's got to get jacked.
I don't know if that's not good for you.
It's
I
protein.
know, like Gaston in Beauty and the Beast says he ate 5 dozen raw eggs at the start of each morning.
That's what it was based on, actually. It was
Rocky, yeah.
And lastly, you might have something on this, you might not. It might be completely irrelevant. The boxing match at the start, there was resurrection. Oh, what?
Yes,
is that a thing?
Go! Run with it!
Okay,
Run with
resurrection. That was again foreshadowing, really, of the plot. It was his resurrection from where he'd.
I'm very proud of you. Right
you look
now.
very excited.
I'm very proud of you.
Because obviously you had the religious iconography and everything, but the resurrection was very obvious above the film. Oh, you're looking at me very.
I'm proud.
Oh, thank you.
I'm proud right now. Yeah,
that's the first thing I've written.
The resurrection. You know what? I saw you writing, and I was thinking, you're missing it, but you weren't. You were clocking it. Yeah. So at the opening scene, it was very deliberate. I believe by the director, not by Stallone. That the opening shot is it's in a church. The opening boxing matches, and it's a pan down from a mural of Christ down to Rocky, and it's like the new martyr. The new martyr is born. So you've got that Christ, and then you've got this Christ.
And it wasn't Sylvester Stallone.
As the giant imaginer is just like a drawing of him.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I thought that was interesting. Knowing that I knew that he would lose the fight. I knew that he was going to lose the fight. So the resurrection thing, I thought maybe a longer of him losing the fight and being resurrected in the second one, maybe. But actually, the story itself was a resurrection. It was him rediscovering himself and meeting his purpose, which was to go the distance with.
Well, that's the thing. At the end of the film, I remember when when I used to watch it when I was younger. I thought Rocky won because there's no. The camera doesn't care. The audience doesn't care. Like they literally when they're shooting Apollo from like 3 layers deep of people realizing he's won. There's no emphasis on that. The focus is not actually the story of the boxing match. It's a love story, and that you focused on Adrian, and the first time they say, "I love you, I love you, I love you." That was a little bit.
That was a Richard Hellman.
That was a bit Richard Hellman. Coronation Street.
One for you international listeners. Okay.
I love you.
You've been itching to get this in.
I love my trivia.
Hit me with some trivia.
Okay, so when you were saying about the feeling full in the crowd and that it was in the gym and that there was a thing, ironically, they really struggled for extras.
Okay.
So in the arena at the end, the reason why they go in the night before and they show it in all open, all lit up rather.
Enjoyed that, by the way.
But no one in it. It was a great shot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But the director did that because they didn't have enough people to fill the arena when the actual boxing match was happening. They put a call out, a casting call out for extras, and said that they would feed them a chicken dinner if they came and was an audience member in this thing.
I'd do a lot less for a chicken dinner.
Yeah, we don't know how good the chicken dinner was.
A lot more for a chicken dinner.
And people turned up, but not enough to fill it.
Right.
So what they decided to do, they put in this shot of, the director said, well, if we do an establishing shot of we know how big it is, and then we just shoot it in the dark and have a lot of extras really crowded around the thing, you give the illusion that there's a lot of people there.
That's just good business. You never once suspected that the whole thing wasn't sold out. That's the best good decision.
And the I love the bit of the shorts, you know, when he's got the banner, when he's like, the shorts should be
white and red, not
right,
red
and red.
and white.
That was actually a balls up of the. There was so many things in it that that they basically just messed up because they shot it and they filmed it in 28 days, so they didn't have any time to reorder things. So they made the banner and they made it wrong, and they put it all up, and Sylvester Stallone was like, "It's wrong. I'll just write a little bit for it and draw attention to it." They didn't have enough money to pay because the date between Adrian and Rocky was actually meant to be in the day, and it was meant to have all people skating around it, and they couldn't afford the extras. So they were like, right, we've booked it, we can't afford the people, so we'll just say it's closed.
Fantastic.
And there was another one. What was the other one?
I'll let you think of that. That's really clever.
It'll come back to me.
Because even having it closed, it made it more intimate, and actually, I think it added to it rather than subtracting it. It's obviously a clever fix. Yeah. But actually, it made a better film.
I think it did. I think it 100% did. Oh, and the other one was the do you know the shot where he's running up the steps in Philadelphia?
Yes.
They didn't have enough crew to film that loads and loads of times, so they just stayed there for a couple of days with the camera guy, who I'm going to talk about the camera guy in a minute, Garrett Brown, because he's a very cool dude, and Sylvester Stallone, the director, and someone just taking a picture of him. And they just ran up and down those steps a few times, but they didn't have a permit or anything, and when they're running through the town, they don't have a permit.
Well, they're running through the town. Every single person in that shot, apart from Rocky, is looking directly at the camera. Yeah,
because it's not meant to be there. It's like there's a camera running on the
There's cameras flying through the air.
And it would have been the camera, this was one of the first uses of the Steadicam.
Nice.
Because the Garrett Brown, who was head of photography, I think he was, or head of he was the camera guy, head of the camera department. He'd been hired to do it, and just went, FYI, I've come up with this really cool new device called a Steadicam, which allows you to if you don't know what Steadicam is, you basically strap it to the camera guy's body, and it allows you to run with it, but it reduces the bounce. So the amazing shot when he's running at the side of the boat. Oh no, I say that was on a dolly. Ignore that.
that was far. Yeah.
The when he's running up the steps, and when they're in the arena, you feel like so close to him because there's actually a guy just with a camera strapped to him, just following the action.
Nice.
But with the Steadicam, it also means that you can cheat the boxing matches really well. So you can hide. So you can be maybe 6 inches away from punching the guy, but you can't see that because how the angle is basically. So yeah, do you know when I said it was filmed in 28 days? It was written in 3 days.
Nice.
So Sylvester Stallone, apparently, he's like, how he tells it is that he...
You don't seem very trusting of Sylvester Stallone.
I think it's...
Are you saying he's sly?
He's... I think he's a very, very talented man, and he knows how to sell himself, but it's that whole thing of... the winners in history write history, so he's done really well, and he can tell whatever story he wants to.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So how he says it, he shut himself in his room, painted all the windows black, so he had no aware of what the time was, and just like knuckled down and wrote this script. But the original script was a lot darker. Like Mickey was a racist, and he was gonna beat everyone up, and it was a lot darker film, so they lightened it up a lot. It did have like 9 rewrites after the initial 3 days.
Really? Yeah.
But it literally is probably like Rocky title done 3 days. Done. There we go.
Let's make a movie. That was bad.
That was really bad.
Let's cut that out.
That was like Godfather. I'll make you an offer I can refuse.
Let's make a movie.
You've seen that? I mean,
I've seen that Godfather. Of course I have.
Yeah.
Which,
of course, Adrian's in. I've already mentioned that. So this actual Rocky is based on an actual fight.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So between...
so he didn't even write the... Yeah, I wrote it. Yeah, no worries. Just copy this guy.
Chuck Whipner versus Muhammad Ali in March of 1975.
Okay.
So Whipner was 36 years old, not really taken seriously. This was his first big shot at a title. He knocked Ali down in the 9th round, and that was like shock. He'd never been really knocked down before. But then Ali beat him to a pulp. The rest of the thing. And,
that'll happen.
There was a TKO, which is a technical knockout in the 15th round. But
you're talking to me like I don't know what a TKO is.
If you ask Sylvester Stallone, he doesn't say that it was massively based on that. There was a big lawsuit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, from Whipner's family to him of like, you've basically stolen the rights to this film. So they weren't very pleased about that. But should we do some casting?
I would love to
casting alternatives.
I would love to hear some casting alternatives.
So, for who do you want to pick? Pick a character. They've all got alternatives. There seems to be no one was their first choice.
Let's go for my favourite character, Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. So Apollo was going to be, they wanted
Muhammad Ali.
Well, someone that fought, an actual boxer. They wanted this guy called Kenny Norton.
Okay.
Who beat Ali in 1973.
Oh wow.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Heavyweight boxer. And exactly that. He weighed 230 pounds.
Right.
And they said that he would dwarf Sylvester Stallone.
He was 190 pounds in the fight.
I think that may have been bumped up a bit.
Yeah,
because he's like Sylvester Stallone is famously short. He's a lot shorter than even he. There's a if you go on YouTube, you've got to find this clip because it's the funniest thing of Sylvester Stallone interviewing or meeting Rocky Balboa.
Right.
In a museum like 15 years after the...
And he's looking up at him, I'd imagine.
He says, he is like, hey, it's Sylvester Stallone, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And it's like, but you're shorter in person. He went a bit...
That was a bit too New York.
That was a bit Italian...
That was a bit too far.
Yeah. So they didn't get him, basically.
Okay.
And
I think Carl Weathers brings a lot to it beyond boxing. I mean, obviously he's stacked as hell, but...
Well, he got the part, so they got him in, and he was doing a sparring session with Sylvester Stallone, and apparently Carl Weathers said to him, "Get a real actor in here," and the director was like, "Well, this is actually the guy that's going to be playing Rocky, and he wrote it, and this is your boss." And he apparently looked him up and down and said, "Well, maybe you'll get better." And Sylvester Stallone said, "You're hired."
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for more of a sci-fi, he did give off that vibe during his talk, didn't he? Of he doesn't take any shit. And
and
he knows what he wants, and he wouldn't have any problem telling this young kid that he's like
30. Sylvester Stallone was like 30. I don't
but
think
relative,
was,
this obviously he's not a kid, but like someone who is beneath him, really, he wouldn't have any problem saying that to anyone. But
especially if he thought he was going to show him up as an actor, like we're not actors, but I'd imagine that you want to act against someone that is at your level, so you don't look like you're doing a bad job.
Is that why they didn't have any scenes together?
There in the later ones there is, but maybe it was
in Rocky, in this film we just watched, they didn't have any scenes together
other than the mumbling boxing match. I love the mumble.
You cannot understand a single thing they're talking about. You can hear rematch. What was the relevance to that? There was one in particular that I have just no idea what they were trying to say.
There's a great send up of it in Hot Shots. The piss take with oh God, what's the guy called?
Winning.
Michael Sheen. No.
Charlie Sheen.
Michael Sheen's that Welsh guy, isn't it?
Yeah, completely different.
And they have like a montage thing and just it's brilliant. It's very good. Other people, pick another person.
Let's go for Adrian.
They wanted Cher.
I can see that.
Cher. So this was before Cher was actually...
This was Sonny and Cher.
Yeah. So this was before she'd actually established herself as an actress.
Yeah. She was a hippie, right?
She was a hippie, yeah. So that she was... that was basically, she's not an actress. And then she went and won an Oscar for Moonstruck and The Mask. And have you seen Mask?
No, I've not seen Mask.
Not The Mask.
Somebody stop me. No.
Mask is such a good film. We'll watch that.
Okay.
How have you not seen Mask? So they wanted Cher.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Can I please have Rocky Balboa, please?
Rocky's a good one for who they wanted to play Rocky. Yeah, there's three big ones. Warren Beatty.
Okay.
So Warren Beatty was Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah. Robert Redford.
No, he's too pretty. Pretty.
I'm just thinking.
You don't want to hit that face.
And he's probably maybe a bit old, is he? No,
probably.
No,
I
maybe
think he was about the right age.
All right, okay.
He was hot in the 70s. So yeah. James Caan from Misery.
I've never seen Misery.
No, have you not seen Misery? You must have seen Misery.
I've never seen Misery. Kathy Bates.
Oh my God, we're
Kathy
doing
Bates?
that. Yes.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
God, I love you. That's a quote from it, not.
I get, yeah.
I do love you, but.
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
Heard it here
Thanks
first.
for qualifying that.
Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
Of Smokey and the Bandits, Boogie Nights, and Deliverance fame.
Yeah. Can see that.
I think he would have been too
charismatic.
Yeah.
Definitely. If that's what they were going for, and I still think it could have done with it, maybe even 0.5% of charisma.
Okay, last one.
Yeah.
Paulie.
Wally.
Harvey Keitel.
Oh.
The wolf.
Maybe too much class.
Yeah, I think he would have been a bit too threatening. Been good as the boss, the mafia boss.
Yeah. Well, the mafia boss he just seemed so small time.
Yeah.
I guess this is because of budgetary restraints, maybe, that he didn't have an office.
No, I think that's what he was meant to be. Is that literally it was like
It was
Rocky was meant to be
$200.
Yeah, Rocky is like the lowest of the low. Like the loan sharks that he deals with just deal out of their car. I think so. That's alternative casting. Alternative ending, which they actually filmed this and then they reshot it after because they didn't like it.
So if anything, the actual ending was the alternative ending.
Yes.
Okay.
So the actual written ending.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Did he win?
No.
Okay.
More how it's filmed.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there was actually emphasis on the ending in this ending, and both Apollo and Rocky were carried out on the shoulders of the supporters out and sort of like did a little fist bump to each other in the air.
Terrible.
And then Rocky went into the changing rooms, saw Adrian, and that's when they did the I love you.
That's rubbish.
Yeah, it was much better. They did it. Apparently, they only filmed that once though because someone in the crowd punched Sylvester Stallone while he was on someone's shoulder and knocked him off. And he was like, I'm not doing that again.
No, that seems fair. Yeah, definitely better end. They nailed the ending there.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, relative to what you just told me.
Couple of just last random bits of trivia that have nothing really to do with the film as such. Just
why not?
It's quite a cool thing. So in December of 2010, Sylvester Stallone himself was put in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
That seems fair.
Yeah, not Rocky. Sylvester Stallone.
No, that seems fair because I imagine Rocky and everything that's come before after it, has probably increased the popularity of boxing, right?
I'd imagine so.
So
yeah, I like boxing as a kid
justified.
because of Rocky.
I'm happy with that.
And Butkus, the dog,
right,
was Sylvester Stallone's real dog.
They seem to get on quite well.
Who he sold a week before this got greenlit, and then the first thing he did when he got told that he was going to make Rocky was he went and bought his dog back.
So he sold it because he was hard up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because he had no money. But he bought it back and then made it famous in a film.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Redemption.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a sweet one. And that is... no. Got another one.
Bonus.
This is the first sports film to win Best Picture. There's been subsequent ones.
Field of Dreams?
I don't think that was Best Picture.
Well, so this is what... I'm glad you brought that up because sports films and any films with sort of a niche...
$1 Million Baby.
A niche...
Have you seen $1 Million Baby?
No idea what that's about. It could be about anything.
It's boxing!
All right,
Clint Eastwood.
No,
Big comeback.
Never
Very
seen
good
it.
film.
Oh, spoilers, go on.
Hilary Swank.
Yeah. Any film with a niche subject matter. Mm-hmm. So not niche as such, but like a very specific subject matter, like boxing, like the one I was thinking of before watching Rocky was Whiplash.
Yes.
Where drumming. I mean, who really cares about a guy learning how to drum?
Jazz drumming as well.
Yeah, but that's probably one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you know, it's probably made me think, watching this and maybe it not being quite about so much about boxing in the same way that Whiplash wasn't really about drumming. The films like that I know are sports films or things like that, like Field of Dreams, maybe not less so, but I've never seen that.
How have you not seen Field of Dreams?
Well, this is what I mean.
So good, Kevin Costner.
If you build it, they will come. I know that. And like Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, I've not seen that one. I've not seen that one.
Or Any Given Sunday, maybe is what I mean there, which is about American football, I think. So like things like that, where maybe the subject or the focus of the film is not particularly capturing, like drumming with Whiplash, but actually that doesn't stop it from being a good film.
Yeah.
Just in the way that this boxing, it could have been anything. It could have been ice skating.
Yeah.
It could have been anything that Rocky was into. Boxing is just the vessel in which the story is told. So stuff like that has probably made me think a bit more about watching those films. Even though I've got no real interest in American football, watching Any Given Sunday, Al Pacino, might be a good experience because apparently it's very good and we love Al Pacino. So, not seen it.
Nope.
No. So, yeah, I think as a whole, this whole experience of watching Rocky probably just marginally a good one. I'll never watch it again.
You know, it's on the. I think it's mid list, maybe like 50-ish. It's on the AFI top 100 films of all time American.
You see, that baffles me. I think I've seen 100 better films than that, but that's me. But
this was the first, so it has been redone a lot.
I've got to review how I actually see this because of what I know about Sylvester Stallone, what I know about Rocky going forward, and the idea that this is the first one. This was back in the 70s. Maybe I should give it a bit more credit. But hey, I can't say I enjoyed it. Sorry.
I enjoyed it for both of us.
Oh.
I loved it.
So, if we're done with Rocky, whatever can we watch next?
Well, so we talked about this before because I was horrified that
this is the worst one.
This is the worst
one so far.
one. Like, how have you gone through childhood and not seen this film?
I'm nearly 30 years old, and I've never seen
Indiana Jones.
I've never seen an Indiana Jones film.
So, it's great for me because we're going to watch Indiana Jones.
So we're going to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
At the weekend.
Because you've not seen any of them, have you?
I've not seen any of them, but
we'll start on the original. We'll start on Raiders.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But we'll talk about that more in the next episode. Something to look forward to. We hope you've enjoyed this one.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed doing it. Very much.
And we'll be back probably Monday, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's aim for Monday.
Aim for Monday.
We do have a website now, which is howhaveyounotseen.com. And we're also on Instagram at howhaveyounotseen. And also on Twitter at notseenpodcast.
I'm staying out of this because
You'll
forget what they're called.
Mid-sentence,
exactly. And I don't do the social media. I do. I'll chat to you. If you send us a message, I'll be the one that's talking to you. But I don't know what they're called.
So if you want to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear from you. We should be on iTunes soon.
Yes.
You might even be listening to us on iTunes. Hi iTunes. If so, can you please give us a review? A positive one, unlike my review of Rocky. Yes.
Mine was positive.
Yours was positive.
I loved it.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.